Brody Herman.
Happy Friday, everybody. It's getting warm out there now. It's about 46 degrees at 10:05 a.m. John Huff, Brody Herman, Ryan Swingley with you for an hour as we prepare for yet another week of high school basketball coming up tonight. We got plenty of good games and a good weekend slate coming up. But as always, we're going to talk about the last few games early this week. This has been, Brody, it's always an intriguing season, but one thing that's actually been kind of cool is, I'll start off with this. Parkway Central, the Colts are 14-5. They've struggled over the last few years, but they're off to a really good start. Admittedly, not the toughest schedule, but they're winning like most of the games they should be winning, or just about all of them really, and they squeaked out another one, 51-50 over Seckman on Tuesday. What are your thoughts on this Colts team?
I think Parkway Central historically in the past, they haven't been that great. Aaron Miller took over back. Aaron Mueller, I don't know how to pronounce his name. Mueller, okay. And he took over back in 2018-19 after they parted ways with Rick Kirby, and I think this may be the best team they've had since. They have a senior named Henry Kokel, who I've known for a very long time. He is going to Missouri S&T, 6 feet 9 inch forward. He played on the Michael Porter Jr. Elite. Sean West obviously coaches on the Michael Porter Jr. Elite, so they're led by Henry Kokel. And I think, they've had a fairly easy schedule to say the least, but they have won the games that they've needed to win, and they are 14-5. But I don't think they're going to be winning a state championship anytime soon.
Yeah, I would argue that their team in 2022 was better than this year's team.
I would agree.
They had a pretty good group of seniors, and I just think more talented overall than Oliver Kokel, who's Henry Kokel's older brother. He was a sophomore. He was pretty good at that time.
Oh, yeah, he was.
So they had a good balance of experience and youth on that team. But regardless, the Colts are I know like their own people have been like DMing me like, hey, you got to get out to a game and whatever. And we're actually going to have a camera out there tonight when they play Pattonville at Parkway Central.
That'll be a good test for them.
It'll be a good test for both teams. And then sticking in Chesterfield, Marquette edged out Lafayette 57-56 this past Tuesday. A really close game between two Rockwood rivals. Lafayette, you got to feel for them a little bit. They're 10-9, but they've had a really tough schedule, one of the toughest in the area, and that was a game that they could have squeaked out, but just were not able to do it. They've lost more than a few really close games this season.
Yeah, I think Marquette winning this game here by one performance. Parker Hoffman, 11 points. Alec Komarech, that's how you pronounce his name, 14 points. Aiden Lemons, 12 points. Brody Owen, 11 points, a little light for him. And Preston Lohr with 9 points. So, Marquette, Lafayette is, I know they're 9-9, but they did make the Final Four last year, and very competitive game between these two Rockwood rivals. And, of course, Marquette earlier in the week, John, they played Vashon.
That was last night?
No, that was last night. I'm sorry. They played Vashon last night, and they beat them. And no, I'm sorry. Vashon beat them by the score of 78-57. It was fairly a close game. And then, of course, Vashon, put their foot on the accelerator, and they just excelled. Leon Powell Jr., senior, Leon Powell Jr., he's a junior, actually. He scored 28 points. Jim McKinney III, the son of Jim McKinney II, the head coach at Vashon, his son, Jim McKinney III, 19 points. Kane McCaskill, SIUE commit, senior, he had 12 points. Christian Pott, transfer from CBC, had 12 points. And Khalil Crane contributed with 5 points. What a game by Powell Jr. here to elevate the Vashon Wolverines and getting them over the hump here, having an unexpected performance. That was really the reason why the Wolverines won this game. Leading the charge for the Mustangs, Brody Owen, Washburn commit, McDonald's All-American nominee, 16 points. He's a senior. Parker Hoffman with 13 points. Aiden Lemons with 10 points as well. Preston Lohr with 9 points here. Marquette moves to 13-7. The Vashon Wolverines 14-3. John, what are your thoughts on this game between the Wolverines and the Mustangs?
I think if you're Marquette, you take away a lot of positives.
Yeah.
This was I think a 9-point game at halftime, and it was, I think a little closer than that even before that, and still like a competitive game going into the fourth quarter. Then Vashon finally pulled away. They had a big fourth quarter. So if you're Marquette, as long as you get away injury-free, that's a great experience going up against Vashon. They're a very competitive 13-7 team, a dangerous 13-7 team, really. proving that they can play with just about anybody, at least for a half that we saw with Vashon here. And that game was also at Vashon too. Not a whole lot of people there, but that game is on GSV on our YouTube channel. If you want to go check it out, it just released this morning. And as for Vashon, it's just business as usual.
Yeah.
It's always kind of neat when they play a suburban school. I know they played Ladue a few years ago, and a huge crowd at Ladue, and that was a fun environment there. And yeah, Vashon, they keep on doing their thing. I mean, they started a little slow to their standards early in the season, but admittedly against some really tough competition. But lately they've been on fire, especially after seeing them dismantle the Smet and shoot unbelievably well against them. So yeah, the Wolverines are looking as good as usual.
Yeah, they are. In that game, John, they scored 26 points in that fourth quarter. By the way, Leon Powell Jr.'s scoring has ticked up. He scored 21 points against Memphis Central earlier in the season. But against Miller Career Academy, he had 20 points, and against Marquette, he had 28 points. Now, not the hardest competition is faced, but I think that's a positive for the Vashon Wolverines that his scoring is ticked up because it makes them, a more of a state championship contender than they already are.
For sure. Another good game on Tuesday night. Orchard Farm over St. Charles West, 52-45. Some GAC North action. Will Wolf, guard for Orchard Farm, had 25 points, so nearly half of their points were from him. And it was a good environment there at Orchard Farm's fairly new high school there, great facilities. And the Eagles are now 12-2. Yep. They've only played 14 games, and we're definitely in the home stretch of the regular season now, but they will, even just like the last few years, they're going to play a lot of games in the next few weeks and, get to the 26 allotted amount of games right there. And then St. Charles West is kind of a two-man team with a 6'6" Cameron Evgen, and then their point guard Carson Gerderman. Those two guys are pretty much running the show for them right there. And so there's kind of a two game that the Warriors have. They're now 12-6 on the season, and they've been good. And that was actually, they had already beaten Orchard Farm previously, but then Orchard Farm got them back the other night. So interesting game right there. Will Wolf had a really nice game. And then Ladue beat Kirkwood for the second time this season, 53-49. Will Becker Jr., he had 30 points, and that's his second 30-point performance of the season. And he's only a 2027 player, so he'll be back next year for the Rams.
Yeah, I think Ladue is definitely a team that is, building for the future. They have a lot of, impressive talent on that team. Gus Logan, a multi-sport athlete. You've got a 6'9" kid, Duncan Kitchen.
He's only played one game, but hopefully he'll be back for next season too.
Yeah, Will Becker is only a junior as well, so is Cody Anderson and, Ben Plasmeyer. I mean, they've got some guys. They're Nolan Maroff. I mean, they're definitely, I trust Chad Anderson. He's been a great coach at Ladue. He's been there since 2008. And, he's built that program into a consistent winner every year, pretty much every year. He's had a few down years, but they pretty much been consistent. So glad to see that they, were able to beat Kirkwood. And they also beat Oakville this week, back-to-back victories for the Rams. Kirkwood, obviously, Nelson Taylor taking over there. They're led by the Nixon brothers. Liam Nixon with 16 points, Grady Rowan with 10 points, Sean Gunn with 6 points. But, Ladue was just, a little too hard for them to beat. Kirkwood moves now to 7-11. They continue to struggle, and now Ladue is 10-9, and they're going to have a tougher challenge than people expect. They're going to host Limburg on October 10th.
That's a big game because we can get into conference standings here, but Ladue's, despite being 10-9, they're 5-1 in conference, and they had a huge win over Lafayette back in January. That's really kind of put them in this position to potentially, if Ladue wins out, then they would be at least co-conference champions. And
yes.
if they're able to get a favor from, let's say, Lafayette beats Pattonville, and then and if Ladue wins out, then they'd be conference champions. So that'd be pretty crazy with how this season's going.
Yeah. By the way, in that conference, John is talking about the Suburban Red. You have Pattonville, who's 5-0, Limburg, who's 5-1, Parkway Central 5-1, and Ladue 5-1. So I think if Pattonville beats Parkway Central, we will have a 4-way tie until Limburg and Ladue face each other. Then whoever wins that game pretty much leads the conference at that point.
Yes, I think, Pattonville, they're still undefeated in conference play, so then they would be in front. But yeah, that Ladue-Limburg game is shaping up to be a really interesting one on paper. Limburg is would be favored to win that, obviously, and they've kind of had Ladou's number these last 4 or 5 years now. But they all those games were won at home for Lindbergh, and the one time they lost to Ladou was at Ladou. But and now going over to the Suburban Yellow Conference, we currently have a 2-way tie for first place. Webster Groves, Marquette, both 3-0. They have not played each other yet. I'm really looking forward to that game when they do play each other. Eureka and McClure North are both 3-1 there. And I think it's probably going to come down to Webster Groves and Marquette that game, because if I would imagine I'm pretty certain Eureka is going to win out. Well, unless they don't play Webster Groves, but I could see a good little 3-way run right there with those 3 teams right there. As long as Webster Groves, if they play to their potential in those games, they should be running away with that.
Absolutely, they should be, and they should win the Suburban Yellow without a doubt. They're currently 14-3 on the season. They are led by a Mizzou commit, Scotty Atkinson. Quincy Williams has done a stellar job, 172 points. Jaden Woods, 166 points, a transfer they got in from Lutheran St. Charles. Another transfer they got in from CBC, Bryce Million, has 153 points for the Statesmen this year. Jackson Tabash, 126 points. So the Statesmen are definitely favorites to win Class 5 this year.
I would imagine so, yes. And then I would say them and MICDS are on a very kind of even playing field. I think those are the 2 best teams in Class 5.
Yeah, they are.
As of right now. As far as like both with their firepower and what they bring.
Though Vianney fans will hate for you to say that.
Well, MICDS just beat Vianney by 16.
Yes, they did.
And Webster is Webster. They're the reigning champs.
Of course,
they're 14-3, and they're undefeated against local teams. So, yeah, I mean, Vianney's going to have unless Vianney can beat the Chaminade tonight, then they can maybe change that narrative a little bit. But
sure.
But as of right now, at the time of this recording, the 2 best teams in Class 5 are Webster.
I agree with you.
All right, so let's go to the Metro Catholic standings. Chaminade. They've played more games right now. They're 5-1, so they are officially in the lead of the conference. But DeSmet's right behind them at 3-1. They just got games in hand on them. And then, but another big game tonight with Chaminade and Vianney. If Vianney can somehow reverse that 18-point loss to Chaminade gave them all the way back in December, then it's going to really shake things up.
I don't think that'll happen, and I think Chaminade will remain in the lead of the conference, though. DeSmet only has 1 loss. They're 3-1. Chaminade 5-1. CBC 2-3. Vianney 2-2, and SLU 0-5.
Yeah, if Chaminade beats Vianney tonight, it'll officially be a 2-horse race.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, but it's always fun. I mean, the MCC is it is what it is. It's one of the best conferences. It's probably the best basketball conference in the state. Football wise, I think that differs every year now, but but basketball wise, the MCC has been the best conference in the state for quite some time.
Yeah.
And there. All right. So I want to talk about, I try to talk about different topics on the show all the time, but we haven't talked about our favorite gymnasiums, basketball gymnasiums in the area. St. Louis is not exactly renowned for having the best basketball gyms compared to the rest of the country, but I would say in the state, we're right up there.
Yeah.
So I would say there's technically some best gyms, but I would say my favorite gym probably to go film a game at is probably U City's gymnasium, I believe.
Is that the Crenshaw Gymnasium?
Ed Crenshaw Gymnasium.
Yeah.
Because of how unique it is.
Okay. My 3 favorite gyms are the Roberts Gym, Viking Hall, and Crenshaw Gym are my 3 favorite gyms. And if we're talking about 618, I really enjoy Highlands Gym.
Yeah.
Thoroughly.
I would say probably arguably the best gym in the area is Collinsville's gym, because a lot of people have raving things to say about that. And really, per capita, the 618 kind of cleans the rest of the area when it comes to quality of gyms.
Yeah.
Just how they're designed. And Highland is very good. They're right up there. And it's weird because they don't really have a great basketball tradition.
And Rayshon Taylor.
I was talking about Highland, but Collinsville's got probably the best tradition out of any school here because of the amount.
Oh, you're talking about Highland. I'm sorry, you're talking about Highland.
Yeah, sorry. No, I was talking about Highland briefly right there. Yeah, they don't have the best basketball tradition. Like they have a great shootout every year. Shout out to Matt Powers. That's the best thing about it, I think, is they're able to have that shootout every year.
Every year.
Yep. And then one gym that people don't talk about a whole lot is Union, of all people. They have a really great gymnasium all the way out there in Franklin County. It's state of the art. It's great. It's big. And the school doesn't even have over 1,000 kids there, but that gym could literally almost fit not the whole town of Union, obviously, but a huge amount of people there. So I've been there a few times. It's great. And yeah, SLU's got it's not that old, but it's about like, is Dennis Fieldhouse was that how long has that been around? Has that only been like 15 years old or
15
something?
years old, yeah, I would say about
Okay.
15 years.
Did they play basketball before that in the same building, or is that a completely new building?
Are we talking about SLU?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a fairly new thing.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what they've done with their old gym.
Me neither.
But yeah, it's great. It's still one of the best gyms in the state. And it's really well put together. The facilities are great. I just think it's still kind of it's not a basic gym, but I just think like Viking Hall, you said.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty picturesque.
Oh yeah.
Of what it is. And then it's hosting, I think, a shootout, right, on Valentine's Day?
Yeah, I believe so. Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Shootout. We're going to preview that next week. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm really excited to go there for the amount of games that, and just because I haven't been to that gym since I think like 13 years.
Wow, it's been that long. Well,
Yeah.
Normandy hasn't had much, reason for you to go to that gym basketball wise.
Right. And it randomly, which I'm happy for, because it was like, more than like probably 7 years ago now, they hosted, it was a game between Vashon and Trinity Catholic in, I think, the Class 3 quarterfinals.
That's right.
Whoever was in charge of that, like, picked the best possible venue for that, because that was pretty great.
Oh, I remember, was that when Kalkbrenner was there, wasn't he?
Yeah, Kalkbrenner was there.
Yeah.
You still had Isaiah Williams when he was.
Okay, so he was a senior. Kalkbrenner then would have been a junior.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Like Marcus Washington. Remember when he played basketball and thought he was going to be a basketball player?
Right. So you had all these football players. You also had Rashad Weekly, who was a really good player for Trinity.
Yeah,
and then Vashon had Mario McKinney.
Yep.
Cameron Fletcher.
Yeah.
Phil Russell.
That's right. Donya McCaskill.
Yeah, they were absolutely
Cyrus
loaded.
Alexander. My gosh.
Absolutely loaded.
Nick Kern.
That team.
God.
That team was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I U City's gym. I've been there several times. It's just absolutely unique how it's like you have grandstands on the gym floor, but most of the stands are above the court. It's kind of like you're in the Coliseum and you're watching gladiators fight.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, one of the best games I've seen at least as a playoff was the COVID year when Cardinal Ritter, they beat U City there in the district championship game in Class 3, I think it was.
That's right.
No, it would have been Class 4. Yeah, it was Class 4.
Was it Class 4?
It was Class 4.
Okay.
I remember that. And that was, I think the game went to overtime and then Ritter won by 4 points.
When was this?
This was 2021.
Okay, so that would have been my senior year and Mario Fleming's senior year then.
Yeah.
U City was actually pretty good that year. I can't lie. Didn't they have they had a 3-point buzzer beater win over CBC, I believe, also that year?
Yeah, Larry Abbey, he was their point guard. Yeah, he was a 4-year starter for them.
Yeah, I remember oh my gosh, I remember Larry Abbey very, very well.
Yeah. So that was probably U City's most talented team since, really, I don't think they've had a more talented team since that team. And
right.
They've had some talent go through there recently. And even, this year, I think they have some talent, and they're 10-10, but their record is they've played a tough schedule. But no, yeah, that team kind of had a little bit of everything. They had size, they had good point guard, they had good ball handling. Yeah.
Robert Lewis and Mario Fleming were a dynamic duo, both at 16 points apiece in that game. That was, oh my gosh, that was unbelievable. Yeah. Braxton Stacker only had 8 points that game. So
I remember that Cardinal Ritter, they didn't hit a single three, and I don't think they had hit a single shot outside of like 10 feet, and they were able to win that game.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
Do you want to preview the O'Fallon shootout now, or do you want to do that after the break?
We'll do that after the break.
Okay. All right. We still got a little bit of time left before our break. I guess we could go over our rankings real quick.
Yeah, go over the rankings a little bit.
Yeah, okay. We'll do the area rankings for large schools.
Yep.
East St. Louis right now at 21-3. They're number one. They have been, I believe they have been number one all season.
Okay.
Maybe they started out at number 2, but but they've been legit. Webster Groves, they're now 14-3. Chaminade 14-4 at number 3. Vianney at 17-3, number 4. Number 5 is DeSmet at 15-4. That 3, 4, 5 right there is just absolute. It's really difficult to rank, but But there you go right there. Those three teams, Chaminade, Vianney, DeSmet, are really close to each other. Number 6, Francis House Central. They are now 16-3. This is one of the best years that they've ever had as a basketball program. St. Dominic at number 7 at 16-3 now. House Central defeated St. Dominic in the Washington Tournament Championship game. And number 8 is Alton at 15-7. They have a big game tonight hosting Edwardsville. Number 9, Eureka at 14-4, and now number 10, Marquette at 13-7. That rounds out the large schools, and then the small schools. You got number 1, Principi at 16-2. 17-2 now. Number 2, Vashon at 13-3. Number 3, MICDS at 14-3. Number 4, Westminster 16-4. Number 5, St. Mary's, they're at 17-4. Now they're 18-4. They're 17-4 going into the week. Number 6, Clayton, they are 14-6. They actually had a really close win over Parkway South, so that was kind of eye scratching. I know that Clayton, they've had a few pretty close games against teams that are kind of below their level, but they ultimately win those, though. That's all that counts. Number 7, Columbia, they are now 21-4 on the season. They've had a huge second half of the season for them. And number 8, Alton Marquette at 16-5. Even though Alton Marquette beat Columbia has just been on a tear since January, though, so I decided to move them back up. And then number 9, St. Charles West at now at 12-6, and then Orchard Farm, they started out at number 10, and Orchard Farm beat St. Charles West, so I'm probably going to move them ahead of the Warriors after this week right there. So those are your small school rankings. For our Class 6 rankings, Rockhurst is still undefeated at 20-0. Then yes, this is a little hard to explain. I have the Smet at number 2, even though they're number 5 in our large school rankings. Because Vianney is not involved in Class 6, you can just take the Smet and Chaminade, put them head to head, and the Smet has them beat. So therefore, the Smet is ahead of Chaminade at 2 and 3 right there. Oak Park, they are 14-4. Then you have actually 3 straight North Kansas City school district teams right here. You have Oak Park at 4, North Kansas City at 5, and then Staley at number 6. And then number 7, Kickapoo, number 8, Lee Summit, number 9, Francis South Central. I would believe this is the first time they've ever been ranked in a media poll, I would imagine, at any time in basketball. And then number 10, St. Dominic. Class 5, we were just talking about this. Webster Groves at number 1, MICS at number 2, Vianney right behind them at number 3, Westminster number 4, Sykeston at number 5. Kearney, it's been a great year for Kearney High School, winning state at football. Now they're pretty decent at basketball, too. They are number 6th in Class 5. And number 7, Springfield Hillcrest. Number 8, McClure North. Number 9, Raytown South. And then number 10, Brody Parkway Central.
All righty then. Number 10. That is incredible, of course. And when we're going to come back, we're going to preview and give our predictions for the Bank of O'Fallon Shootout. Don't leave. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Gateway Sports Venue High School Sports Show on the Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com.
This hour of content on the Lou Information Station is brought to you by Grandpa Pigeons, Johnny Mac's Sporting Goods, and Becky's Carpet and Tile Superstore.
Hey, see that, kids? That's the St. Louis Arch, the gateway to the west.
The Lou Information Station, where we'll always call it Highway 40 or Highway 40 if you're a boomer.
The St. Louis expression?
Stream our content 24/7 at louinfo.com. The Lou Information Station.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. 800-891-6335. That's 800-891-6335.
louinfo.com news headlines. Brought to you by Brown and Crouppen, 222-2222.
With your LouInfo.com news, I'm Jared Cirillo. The investigation continues into a deadly shooting of a woman who was working as a ride-share driver. Ferguson police say no arrests have been made in the death of 28-year-old Shannon O'Brien. O'Brien's body was found in the 1700 block of Windward Court last week. Anyone with information should call police. St. Louis residents affected by last May's tornado will get a couple of more weeks to apply for private property help. City officials say the deadline to submit an application has been extended to the end of February. Eligible residents can get up to $50,000 for repair work, demolition, and debris removal related to the devastating tornado. And the St. Louis Cardinals are reporting that they're bracing for a major drop in revenue this upcoming season. The ball club expects to lose up to $20 million from moving local broadcast to the MLB's streaming service. We're streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Now, LouInfo.com weather. Presented by Home Bank. Member FDIC. Secure your financial future by opening a high-yield checking account today. Go to myhomebank.bank to get started.
Here's your LouInfo.com weather update. Gusty wind today up to 30 miles an hour. Some clouds moving in. We have cold front dropping in. No rain, though. Mid-40s. Partly cloudy and mid-20s for the overnight hours. Then we get mid-30s with sunshine on Saturday and not as windy. Sunday will warm up a little bit. It'll be a sunny day, low 50s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton for the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com and the free Lou Info app.
Today, business moves fast. Don't fall behind your competitors. Contact CTS, Commercial Technology Solutions, today for your voice and data needs, including networking, internet, and video conferencing. We offer 24-hour emergency service with competitive rates and an A+ rating from the BBB. At Commercial Technology Solutions, it's all about service, solutions, and stability. Contact them in Missouri at 314-421-3550, in Illinois at 618-452-3550, and online at ctsphone.com.
Fast Track Auto Transport has been a trusted leader in vehicle shipping for over 25 years, providing reliable, affordable service across the U.S. Fast Track offers fast and safe transportation solutions for individuals, dealerships, fleets, and businesses of all sizes. The Fast Track team prides itself on honest communication, competitive pricing, and real-time tracking, which gives our customers peace of mind from pickup to delivery. Whether you're shipping a single car or managing a large fleet, Fast Track delivers a smooth, hassle-free experience every time. Come see why Fast Track Auto Transport has been St. Louis's go-to company for all your vehicle transport needs for over 25 years. The trusted way, the safe way, the Fast Track way. Visit ftautotrans.com or call 636-677-9004. That's ftautotrans.com or call 636-677-9004.
When it's time to bring the energy, don't fake it, fuel it. Drink Thunder is the all-natural, plant-based, fruit-based pre-workout drink that gives you real results without the junk. No sugar, no crash, just clean energy, powered by nature, and loaded with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to help you perform at your best. Go to drinkthunder.com and grab your favorite flavor, orange mango, blackberry lemonade, or strawberry cream. Drink Thunder, the clean way to power your workout. drinkthunder.com.
Now back to more of the GSV High School Sports Show on the Lou Information Station, streaming 24/7 at LouInfo.com and on the free Lou Info app.
Welcome back for segment 2 on the Gateway Sports Venue Show. We're going to start this out by previewing the Friday night games, and then we're going to work our way into the O'Fallon Shootout on Saturday. East St. Louis, they got an interesting game against Woodbury High School in New Jersey. I'm assuming this is a pretty big game for them. I just saw this. So the Flyers are, again, on the road.
Yes, they are. They have 2 games on the road in New Jersey, facing Woodbury, New Jersey. Also, Camden in New Jersey as well. Camden is a tough team. So interested in seeing how they'll fare against those 2 Jersey teams. They're 21-3 this year, John. They lost to Faith Family Academy 77-62, lost to Principia 88-54, and lost to North Crowley in Texas 68-62 in their first game of the year. So 21-3. We'll see how they fare against these 2 New Jersey teams. And I'm looking forward to this. Then they return to conference play, and they travel to Belleville East, and then they travel to Alton and Belleville West, and only have one remaining home game left, at least in the regular season, against Collinsville. So they're going to have a lot of games on the road. East St. Louis will.
Yeah, those 2 games on the road at Alton and Belleville West, I think, are going to be pretty interesting.
Yes, they will be.
Then you got the Smet at CBC. It's a big MCC game.
Yep.
We've been giving you a hard time of the CBC fans storming the court after beating Vianney, but I think it's valid if they can beat the Smet. I think
it'd be big.
I think that's
of course it is. Are you kidding me? They haven't beaten the Smet since 2022, the year they won the state championship. The Smet has had their number for the last 3 seasons and this season. So hopefully CBC, at least for my sake, will be able to beat the Smet tonight. I don't think it'll happen. But I didn't think CBC would beat Vianney, and they beat them.
Well, when CBC's got nothing to lose, especially with this team, that could be dangerous.
Yes, it can.
They got some firepower.
Oh, yeah. They're motivated.
Yeah, I mean, the mostly guard-oriented team, but they can shoot well if it's their night. And, yeah, if they lock in, that could be a pretty tough game for the Smet if they do all that. But the Smet has been pretty consistent on what they do all season. Getting to the basket and able to hit shots, and they're a good mid-range shooting team. And I know Jordan Boyd he had a foot injury last week. I don't know if he's still out or not. But
I don't know if he's still out or not either. But of course, CBC led by freshman Stacy Sorrell. He's got 296 points. He's averaging 18.5 points a game. Kyron Jackson Jr. He's got 234 points, 14.6 a game. Tristan Howard, sophomore, 163 points, 10.2 points per game. Jaden Reed, who's a senior, committed to play Indiana State football, 140 points, 8.8 points a game. And then Jake Plummer first, who's committed to play football at Fresno State, 118 points, averaging 7.4 points a game. Jamoni Harris, who I've been impressed with, he is a freshman to look forward to for CBC, as well as Milton Proctor, who is going to play for the first class AAU team this summer on the Under Armour Rise circuit. So I'm excited for CBC's future. I don't know if they'll beat the Smet tonight. I don't think they will, but hopefully they do for my sake, but I don't think they will. And I think the Spartans do pull out and win this game tonight.
Staying in the MCC, Vianney at Chaminade. I will be there tonight. This is I'm looking at STL today. This is a rivalry that has been pretty one-sided.
Yes.
Chaminade 43-10 over Vianney going back to 1999.
Yeah.
And they currently are on a 4-game winning streak over the Griffins.
Yeah.
So they've only lost to them once this decade.
Yeah.
And I think this could be a pretty interesting game.
Must win for Vianney.
It is, as far as their conference is concerned, and potentially if they can beat Chaminade and maybe Webster Groves drops a few games, that could be huge for district seedings.
I think so. I couldn't agree with you more. And, Chase Duke, Jr., 329 points. Ben Carson, Sr., 308 points. Junior Brock Long, 257 points this year. Omar Long, 148 points this season. And, of course, their 7-foot center, Mamadou John Barry, with 127 points this year. He's only a sophomore. So Vianney trying to upset Chaminade tonight, but I don't think it'll happen. And I think the Chaminade Red Devils will win this game and take care of Vianney pretty easily.
Yeah, this is a young Vianney team too. Ben Carson, by the way, he's now in the 1,000-point club. But
yes, he is.
Outside of him, that's an all underclassmen starting.
All juniors and sophomore, pretty much.
Yes, I believe. Yeah, 2 sophomores and 2 juniors there.
Yeah.
For the Griffins, then Clayton at MICDS. This has been an interesting game these last contests these last few years. Clayton beat MICDS last year and then the year before. However, the Greyhounds did lose to MICDS at the MICDS tournament back this was in the semifinals, a 69-41 loss. That game was actually Clayton was winning by 6 after the first quarter, and then when MICDS decided to go into their full court trap, and then it was a blowout by the end of the first half.
Yeah. Listen, I think Clayton Sumner Ahern has done a stellar job so far coaching the Clayton Greyhounds. I think, Sebastian Bolden is going to put up buckets. He's going to have numbers tonight. He'll probably have at least a 20-burger, maybe even a 25-burger. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. MICDS is at home tonight. Give me the Rams in this one. As John said earlier, one of the best teams in Class 5. I have MICDS winning this game by at least 10 points at home. This is going to be a big win for the Rams, though I think, Clayton will try valiantly, and it may even be close in the first half, but I think the Rams just pull away and win this one.
Yeah, I agree right there. I mean, the Rams, they were so athletic, and they're they got Gabe Weaver he's a 6'7" center, and just across the board, they don't have anybody small.
No, I mean, Gabe Weaver committed to play football at the University of Minnesota, my alma mater, and MICDS, they have a four-headed monster: Tyler Ray, Keyshawn Mims, Jason Stokes, Brandon Clemens. I mean, there's nobody small in this team. I mean, they're all basically they're all basically 6'3" and above. I mean, they are not a small team, and it is going to be a tall order for Clayton to beat the Rams here. And I just don't think they're going to do it, and I think MIC just wins this one.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. Whitfield at Principia. That's all Panthers.
Principia will end that game by the end of the first half, maybe even the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, Lutheran North. This is actually a pretty classic Metro League game right here. Lutheran North at Westminster. These two teams have played in a lot of good games over the years. Lutheran North, they've been a whole lot of people have been talking about them. They're 12-8 this season. Pretty competitive schedule. I know they gave DeSmet a run for their money a month ago, but and even in my CDS, however, Westminster, they kind of struggled a little bit in the Maryville tournament.
Yeah, they did.
They lost to Lindbergh, but but since then, I mean, they've been good all year. But they were 5-3 at one point. Now they're 16-4. And they got a big game against Lutheran North tonight. Will Powers has, had a phenomenal season.
Oh, of course. I mean, 444 points, standout multi-sport athlete. Also was the starting quarterback, I believe, on their varsity football team.
No, I think he quit football.
Did he?
He was in 2024, but yeah, I think he's focused on basketball.
He is fully focused on basketball
Yeah.
now. I mean, he plays on the New Balance Prelude 32 circuit for the Gateway Knights, so it looks like he's fully focused on basketball now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he threw for 2,000 yards as a sophomore.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's just how talented he is as an athlete overall.
Yep.
Let's see what else there is. We talked a little bit about it. Pattonville at Parkway Central tonight. The Pirates taking on the Colts out in Chesterfield. I think Pattonville's going to win this game.
Wow, you think they're going to make Parkway Central walk the plank?
Oh gosh. You went there, but no, I really like Evan Longmire. He's a really good point guard. He's about 6'1". He could be a good college point guard somewhere.
Yeah.
He's got the size for it too. Really blossomed over the last 3 years. I've seen him play, and they got Terrell Lyles back. He missed a few games.
Yep.
So I think they have enough length as long as they can kind of. Really, if they can play even with Central in the rebounding game, I think they'll beat them.
I think that's possible. I actually have the Pattonville Pirates also making Parkway Central walk the plank, and I have the Pirates winning this game. I think Parkway Central has faced cupcakes, and I think, yes, I know Henry Kokel's going to get his, but I agree with all that what you said, John. I think the Pirates will pull this one out and beat Parkway Central tonight.
Yeah, what's crazy is that you look at Central's their team free throws percentage is really not good, and so they don't have a whole lot of good 3-point shooters. But Kokel, he has done so much for them. And he averages a double. He averages, I think, 17 points. And he averages 12 rebounds. So they really go through him. But as long as if you can just kind of neutralize him and just he's going to get his, like you said, but as long as you don't let him dominate you, then I think for Pattonville with their talent, I think that's
Missouri S&T is going to be good for a while. Both Kokels are going to be there, Henry and Oliver.
That's awesome. Yeah, they've done a really good job recruiting the area and getting some hidden gems.
Yeah,
they also got that player he was a really good player for Borgia a few years ago. I forget his name already.
Andrew Young or no? He's at Marquette.
But really. Again, another one of the really good recruits. He was a center at Marquette, but
I think so.
I know. I'm bad at forgetting names, but I know Dwayne Foley, the former Ladue player. He's there too.
Oh, of course,
can't forget about him.
Right.
Hillsborough at Festus, just a classic rivalry between these two Jefferson County teams. Festus, they've been quite decent this year at 13-5. Not a great strength of schedule.
No, I mean they're 9-9 this year. Hillsborough is.
Well, and then and Festus, they're 13-5.
13-5.
They did beat Farmington, and they already beat Hillsborough by 19 earlier this season. So I guess that's you'd imagine that they're on paper they're favored to win this game here. And then we got a big former Archdiocese Athletic Association game. I guess that's no longer. Maybe it is still a conference for basketball. I don't know. But St. Dominic at Borgia.
All right.
These are two big rivals.
Yes, they are. But I think St. Dominic's going to win this one.
Yeah, I think they should. They've been on a tear this season with a young team. I think they have 4, just like Vianney, they got 4 underclassmen starting for them, and they're 16-3 on the season there. So
yeah, they are. I mean, Nolan Struckman, 337 points. Ace Armstrong, 205 points. Austin Ryan, 200 points. Luke Roberts, 156 points. Grant Giesman, 127 points. They're going to go up against St. Francis Borgia. They have a standout player on that team named Emery Warbin, and he's basically carried the load for the Knights this season.
24 points a game.
24 points a game. That's right. They are 14-8 on the season. I have St. Dominic beating Borgia, but if Emery Warbin can somehow just go off tonight and just like put up like a 30 burger, this game could be close and Borgia could squeak it out here. I don't think it'll happen, but it could happen. This is not going to be a blowout like many people maybe think it will be.
We'll see what happens. And by the way, it was Adam Rickman.
Adam Rickman. Okay, yeah. Adam Rickman. That's right.
Yeah, Missouri S&T doing a good job with their basketball program.
Phenomenal.
So we got Edwardsville at Alton. I did promise some people I was going to go to this game, but I had to break that promise, unfortunately. But we'll not have a camera at Alton tonight. But long-time rivalry between these two Southwestern Conference schools. Many great games between these two here. Edwardsville historically has led that series overall.
We haven't talked about this much. Do you know who Alton's leading scorer is just off the top of your head?
Samaj Stampley.
It's Ryan Howard.
Really?
Yes. Ryan Howard. They've both played in 21 games this year. Yeah, name of the baseball player. Both of them have played in 21 games this year.
That's huge, though.
Samaj Stampley averaging 13.3 points a game. Ryan Howard averaging 18.2 points a game. I bet that would stump most people to think that their leading scorer, and it's not by a small margin at all, John, is Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard at Alton, a 6'5" junior, is leading the charge for the Redbirds this season as they are 16-7.
I like his name.
Yeah.
I do too.
And if you're a fan of The Office as well.
Of course.
That'd be good. Edwardsville, they're led by Micah Butler.
Yep.
Coming off of he had a pretty good year last year, and he's just going off of that. He's averaging 14 points a game. Rowan Weller, also returning starter. He's averaging 11.3 points. Then Brady Niemi, he's averaging 10.2 points a game for the Tigers, who have been, again, they're a really consistent program, 16-7 on the season, and they got a good shot against the Redbirds tonight.
Yeah, they do. And, of course, Devion Hill Lomax plays varsity basketball for the Edwardsville Tigers. He's committed to play football at the University of Missouri. He's a 6'4" wide receiver. He could be a legitimate red zone threat at the University of Missouri. But before that, he's going to be playing a little bit on the hardwood. And he's only averaging 4.1 points a game, 66 points on the season. But definitely a impactful physical presence for the Tigers, to say the least.
Yeah. All right, one more game to preview. Breeze Central at Mater Dei.
All right.
Battle for Breeze.
Yes.
The Cougars for Central, they have really turned things around. I mean, they were 5-4 at one point early in the season. And now they're 18-7 with big victory, like double-digit victories over Roxana and then Triad their last two games there. And then they had some big wins over Marion and West Glen. And then they have already beaten Mater Dei 50-40 at a national tournament in Nashville too. So the Cougars are just one of the best sports programs that the St. Louis metro area has to offer, and basketball again is pretty good. They're most likely going to win 20 games again in the regular season, and also their girls basketball team is one of the best in the area too.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
consistently every year. And of course, are we going to get to the meat of the matter, John? The Bank of O'Fallon Shootout is tomorrow, Saturday, February 7th. It is at O'Fallon High School. For more information, go to bankofofallonshootout.com. We're going to preview the games at 2:00 p.m. First game to kick things off, the O'Fallon Panthers girls basketball team plays Pleasant Plains.
I don't know anything about those teams, but I do know O'Fallon, they have a good girls basketball team, and Pleasant Plains traditionally does as well, having known a little bit about the Springfield area. So that should be a pretty good basketball game there to kick things off. And then we got the O'Fallon boys team.
Yes,
Cardinal
Ritter, who is 10-9, 10-9 this year.
They've lost a few players who transferred away, but they've played decent basketball.
They haven't played badly though. The O'Fallon Panthers are 8-15, and I think Cardinal Ritter is going to win, despite the fact that O'Fallon has that home crowd behind them. But I
don't know how much of a home crowd it's going to be. But,
yeah, I don't know. Benacoro leading the charge for the Panthers. He's a transfer coming in from Principia. 364 points this year, 15.8 points per game. Jaden Dancy for the Panthers, 314 total points, 13.7 points per game. Chris Brown, a transfer they got from CBC. He's only played in 6 games so far. He's only scored 33 points, 5.5 points a game for Chris Brown. Panthers have struggled this year, and I think they're going to lose to Cardinal Ritter in their shootout on their home turf.
They are capable of putting together some good performances. It is within them. They've just had a really hard time closing out games.
Yes.
And they've just not been – it's been kind of the same thing last year, just inconsistency. But there is talent there, and if they put it together, they could be a tough out for Ritter. But yeah, I would imagine the way Ritter's playing right now, I would pick
Cardinal Ritter to win, and that game is going to be at 3:30 p.m. And of course, the next game at 5:00 p.m.
For me, I think this is the best game of the day.
I think it's the best game of the day myself. Webster Groves versus Decatur MacArthur.
Yeah, this is a MacArthur team that they are one of the best in Illinois. I believe they're ranked second in the state polls.
Yep, they are.
And then they have. I don't know how many wins they have, but they've only lost 1 game this season, and they've beaten Vashon.
Yes, they have.
If anybody was like, well, who are they? How good are they? Well, they beat Vashon.
They beat Vashon. Oh, they're legit. I mean, my gosh, they are no stranger to playing St. Louis area teams. No, they are legitimate.
They are 24-1. They are undefeated in the Central State 8 conference, and they are, according to Max Preps, they are the 8th ranked team in Illinois according to their metrics.
Wow.
And I think when they get that deep into it, I think those metrics are a little bit more accurate compared to like a lot of the other things they do. But yeah, this is a very, very battle tested Decatur MacArthur team. I know Mount Vernon, they've been ranked this season, and they crushed Mount Vernon 61-32. And then they beat. Actually, no, I take that back. I was wrong. They lost to Vashon 66-60. That's their only loss.
Oh wait, they did lose to Vashon.
Yeah, Vashon. They lost to Kankakee. That's who I'm thinking.
Oh, there's Kankakee.
Yeah. Another. I guess Kankakee. They're technically Chicago area. They're not Central.
Well, it's hard to beat Vashon. I mean, that's a very tall order. That's a tough task.
Yeah, that's looking really good now for Vashon that they beat the kid. It already was.
But now it looks even better.
It does with what MacArthur has been able to do. So
absolutely,
yeah. They play Springfield High School tonight, and then tomorrow they will be shuffling into O'Fallon, Illinois.
Busy weekend for Decatur MacArthur, and of course at 6:30 p.m. you have the Alton Redbirds.
We didn't say who was going to win.
Oh, I think Webster. Well, no. I think Decatur MacArthur is going to win.
I will say Webster wins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Decatur MacArthur pulls it out tonight.
It's hard. I would imagine they would have scouted a lot for Webster Groves.
Yeah.
Probably with all due respect to Springfield High School. They've probably they're maybe thinking a little bit more about Webster Groves in this game those 2 nights. But I'll be a little biased. I'll go.
You'll go with the hometown statesman. Scotty Atkinson may have a heck of a game, and I could be wrong.
He usually turns up for the big games.
He typically does. And of course, at 6:30 p.m., the Alton Redbirds versus the Vashon Wolverines. I got the Vashon Wolverines winning this game. Despite Alton being 16-7, I think the Wolverines pulled this out, and I think it'll be fairly comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, Alton, they did give East St. Louis their toughest, well, besides the Principia game, their other toughest game locally. They only lost by 3 to East St. Louis. So if they can put in a similar performance, then I think this would be a really good game here. But Vashon have been playing lights out. Really the whole season, but especially lately, these last few weeks, they've been kind of on another level right there for them. And then we have a big game between Bolingbrook and Bartlett from Tennessee. Bolingbrook, for those who don't know, they're in the Chicago area. I just don't like that these two teams are out of area and they're playing against each other and not against
I don't get that either.
One of the local teams here, because just for me personally, I just don't care unless one of these teams have like a top 25 player nationally and he's committed to Mizzou or Illinois or whatever your preference is for college. It's just not interesting to me.
Yep.
But because it would have been great if Bartlett were to play Vashon, and then maybe MacArthur plays Alton, and then Webster Groves plays Bolingbrook or whatever.
Yep.
If that was how it is, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm sure it's not that simple, for the organizers putting it on. But I really like the shootout. I know their hospitality is great. Their hospitality room is awesome. The food there is great, and it's a good gym. It's like one of the better gyms in the area, in my opinion. There's a lot. You can fit a lot of people there.
A lot of hospitality at the Bank of O'Fallon shootout, John. Correct?
You ever been there?
No, I haven't. But I need to go.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit. Saturday is a really busy day locally for us because, for St. Louis, because you got the SLU game
right
early in the day, and then if you're a Illini fan, which I'm sure a lot of these people at the O'Fallon shootout are, it's a huge game for them against Michigan State, and it's a busy. So there is the two best shows in. Well, Illinois is not in our town, but locally they are regionally, and then SLU. That is the biggest ticket in town right now.
Absolutely. The Mid-States hockey coverage is going to continue right here on the Lou Information Station. Monday, February 9th, the St. Dominic Crusaders are going to play the Priory Ravens at 6:30 p.m. I would encourage everyone to please subscribe to the Lou Information YouTube channel. That's at Lou Info. Again, that's at Lou Info on YouTube. Please, please, please subscribe to the Lou Information Station YouTube channel. You will not miss any of our coverage. We're going to do 12 Mid-States hockey playoff games, and all the championship games are going to be right here on the Lou Information Station. Next game is going to be Monday, February 9th, St. Dominic Crusaders versus the Priory Ravens. And, of course, my social media handles are at Brody_Herman on Instagram and at BrodyHerman_ after my last name on X. Again, that's at BrodyHerman _ on X and at Brody_Herman on Instagram. John, what are your socials, please?
At John Huff __ on X, and then on Instagram, X_John Huff _X.
Absolutely. Please subscribe to the Gateway Sports Venue YouTube channel. That's at Gateway Sports Venue. Type that in and subscribe to the Gateway Sports Venue YouTube channel. All the highlights of your favorite games in the St. Louis area, and so many things going on. If you want to go follow them on X and Instagram, that's at GSV _STL. And folks, thank you for tuning in to the Gateway Sports Venue High School Sports Show on the Lou Information Station, live and on demand at louinfo.com.